I recently watched some sessions with Claude's own engineers at the AI Code Summit, and I came away with something I didn't see coming. Almost everyone using Claude Skills is using it wrong. So I went deeper. I read everything the team behind Claude has published and watched every talk they put out, and I distilled it into 4 rules. The 4 rules the engineers actually use when they work with Claude Skills. No technical background required to use any of them. Rule 1, they don't prompt Claude, they prompt the skills. Here's the foundation that you need. When most people start working with AI, they write a new prompt for every task that they do.
We can give the same agent a library of hundreds or thousands of skills.
But the reality is most of what we do day to day is repetitive. And the engineers at Claude built skills that specifically solve that. In plain terms, a skill is just a folder. What Barry is calling procedural knowledge for agents.
When you first start using Claude, this standardized format gives a very important guarantee. Anything that Claude writes down can be used efficiently by a future version of itself.
Is a structured way to get a repeatable task done. Your way, every session, without explaining yourself from scratch. The mental shift is this: stop thinking of one-off prompts and start thinking in skills. Here's what it looks like in practice. That's exactly what I did in my last video. Remember the judgment file I loaded into Claude Projects? That was a precursor to a skill. We just hadn't taken the final step yet. This video is that step. Conceptually, here's how to think about the layers you're working at. Layer 1, the AI model. That's the core engine, Claude itself. Layer 2 is the agents and the prompts. That's how most people interact with Claude right now, one prompt at a time. The move is up to layer 3, the skills. Skills that you will develop and over time improve. This is the application layer of the AI world. Rule 2, a skill is just prompting in a folder. Think of it like that, pretty simple. This is where most people stop short, and it's the biggest leverage gap Claude's own engineers keep pointing to. The next question is, how do you build one that actually works? There is a craft to this, similar to when you heard of all the buzzwords about prompt engineering after ChatGPT went mainstream. Getting this right now is worth your attention. The mechanics of creating a skill, however, are quite simple. You open Claude and you ask it, build me a skill for X, and it generates one. But to use skills well, you need to understand what really is inside them. There are 3 layers to every skill. Layer 1, every time you send a message, Claude reads this to decide whether to activate that skill. Think of it as a label to a filing cabinet. If you use a vague label, Claude struggles to know when to reach for it. Use a precise label and Claude knows exactly when and where to apply it. And here's something most people don't realize. When the description is specific enough, you don't even need to name the skill in your communication or prompt with Claude. It knows. It checks the routes automatically. Layer 2, the instruction. Once Claude pulls that skill, this is the procedure that it follows. Your exact process, step by step, not a generic one that you had it automatically right. Your process, step by step. Layer 3, the tools. Now this is important. You reference files or you reference scripts. Perhaps you have an API connection. This is what makes the skill something far more than a prompt and far, far more powerful. And this is where most of the leverage lives in Claude. But most people never make it past layer 2.
And I think most excitingly for me personally is we're seeing skills that are being built by people that aren't technical. These are people in functions like finance, recruiting, accounting, legal, and a lot more.
People pour energy into the prompt and they neglect the tools. Claude's own engineers do the opposite. They focus on the tools layer. Here's a real example of what it looks like. If you want to check on the performance of a video, instead of writing a prompt and also giving it access to perhaps an MCP tool for it to go and look at a particular YouTube channel, you write that into a skill. Not only that, above that, you tell it what channels you want to track. And then you invoke that skill. It knows what you want. It knows what you actually want to look at. It's easy to add another one when you communicate with it. But more importantly, it knows what tool to use, and you've given it the access to that tool. So in summary, because it's a real skill with real tools behind it, it's not just a prompt. I could run 10 sub-agents through it simultaneously, scanning hundreds of channels at the same time. That's not something a prompt can do. Furthermore, I can use routines or scheduling to actually have it go and pull that data any time that I want on a regular schedule and have it load up on my dashboard or send me an email. There's just so much you can do if you get the skill right. Now, rule 3 is very important. Build skills that are composable. This comes straight from Claude's engineering resources on the web. Their words: skills should be composable, portable, efficient, and powerful. Composable means multiple skills that can actually work together.
And the composability of multiple skills together will help agents like Claude elicit even more complex and relevant behavior from these agents.
Claude will actually coordinate which one to activate without you having to direct it. The design principle is small, focused, tight, and reusable skills that can chain together rather than one giant skill trying to handle everything. You break it down into small steps. When you sharpen a research skill, every workflow that subsequently uses that gets an upgrade automatically. This is part of the tools layer, and it's what makes skills genuinely sharp. Here's Barry at the AI Engineering Code Summit.
We design skills specifically as a concrete steps towards continuous learning. As you build up the context, skills makes the concept of memory more tangible. We have worked with Claude for quite a while. The flexibility of skills matters even more. Our goal is that Claude on day 30 of working with you is going to be a lot better on Claude on day 1.
And the reason this matters is that code is deterministic, but if you write your skill correctly enough, it will also be deterministic. By that I mean the same input and you will get the same output every time. AI doesn't work that way. It interprets, it varies, and it consumes tokens and costs money. When you embed a skill in a script, you're trading AI processing for execution in your domain. It's faster, it's cheaper, and it's much more consistent, and that's what you're looking for. A rule of thumb: whenever you have something repeatable, use that in a skill. If you're unsure, have Claude interview you. Go back to my video 20 and watch how I set up Claude interviewing you to pull out your domain knowledge. It's certainly worth doing if you don't know how to do that. You know how to build skills and you know what to build. The last rule is how you make them improve over time. Now, before I get there, if you found this video helpful, please subscribe. It helps me. Rule number 4, this is where the engineers who built Claude genuinely separate themselves from everyone else. Their skills don't just function, they compound. They get better through every use. A one-off prompt is gone the moment you close the chat. A skill persists, and every time you run it, you have the opportunity to make it sharper. Every time a skill produces something that isn't quite right, ask yourself one question. Is this a one-off correction, or does this belong permanently in this skill? If it belongs permanently, take the time to update the skill. Add the rule, add the example, add the edge case. Most people skip this entirely. They run the skill, they get an output, and they move on. Claude's own engineers run the skill, they get the output, and then they update the skill. That's compounding the loop, and that's what day 30 beats day 1 every single time. That's what it means in practice. It doesn't need to be complicated. Just pull up your chat history after a session and say, please review the back and forth that we had. Update the skill so that this is handled automatically going forward, or so that we don't repeat the same mistake. Pull out what went wrong, talk to Claude, and get it into your skill. The team at Anthropic built the method. What makes your skills yours isn't the folder structure. It's what you put inside it, your judgment. That part only you can write. That's the compounding advantage that they're describing. And it only works if you work to do that. But the payback is huge. I'm Jim Kennedy. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week. And please don't forget to subscribe.